Hi. Over the years, I've heard many executives say that they want to transform the culture within their organizations. And this is a credit to them for realizing the importance and the impact of culture on corporate performance. But one of the first issues I realize is that most executives think of culture transformation projects as a finite short-term project, and it's anything but that. Culture transformation is a journey. It's one that could take anywhere from a few months, say 18 to 24 months, to a few years, 6 to 8 years. In fact, the truth is that that journey never really ends, because even after the transformation of the culture, you still need to stay very intentional about monitoring and sustaining the new culture that you desire. So, what does the journey look like? Well, you will find many different frameworks that guide you through culture transformation, but the truth is that they're all very similar, though the steps may have different names. When you look at it critically, you'll find out that they all speak to the same things. So here is the basics of the journey. The very first item is alignment. There is a need to align on a few things. Number one, why are we taking this journey? What could possibly happen? What's the worst thing that could happen if we don't take it? Or what's the best thing that could happen if we take this journey? Why are we taking this journey and why now? Number two, you've got to align with the senior leaders, because without the commitment of senior leaders, the initiative is dead. It's essential to make sure that senior leaders are fully committed, that they understand what the journey requires of them and what this journey is about. They must be committed to leading the initiative and taking their roles as one, role models of the culture change, coaches, and champions of the initiatives. More about their roles in another video. Here's the third thing we've got to align on: success measures, right? What will success look like? And how would we know that we have reached our destination? How would we know that we've created the kind of culture we desire as an organization? Now, the second stage is assessing the culture. And with this, we're really saying, how do we gain a good understanding of what the current culture is? What do we have now? What's working well? And on the other hand, what's not working well? What are the employee experiences like? And how are these experiences affecting the behavior of our employees? To do this, you can use a variety of culture and engagement surveys, but I've found that you will do even better if you supplement these with a series of focus group sessions. Surveys tell you what employees are thinking, but not necessarily do they tell you why the employees are thinking the way that they do. A focus group session allows you to dive deeper and provides you with the opportunity to drill down and really understand the issues and the opportunities that exist towards transforming the culture within that organization. Often, you will realize that there's already a lot of good that's going on within the organization, and the task that lies ahead of you is understanding what's not working well and the best way to guide the organization from where it is today to where it desires to be. Here's the third stage in the transformation journey, is planning that journey. This is the stage where you need to focus on coming up with a plan. And you've got to ask yourself different questions. What are the issues that we've identified when we assessed? Which of these must we focus on right now, realizing you might not be able to focus on everything? What initiatives must we take on today? And then you've got to ask yourself the question, what changes do we expect? And how will we measure that change? And here is where you get into the specifics of success measures and identifying the metrics that you will use to measure success along this journey. One of the key things to keep in mind, by the way, is to try to use existing measures of success where you can, right? So instead of creating something completely new, look for things that you already measure, and if they work, stick with those measures. Another question you can ask yourself is, how are we going to communicate this plan? What tools are we going to use? What platforms? What forum are we going to use? How frequently are we going to communicate? What's the central message that we want to communicate, and how do we communicate this frequently, as well as get feedback from employees? The fourth stage is in the implementation of the culture transformation plan. And this is where the real work happens. This is where you actually begin the work of transforming the culture, the place where you will expend a lot of resources in time, in energy, in funds. This is where you begin to effect the change that can help bring the desired culture transformation. Where I have seen it work, this stage requires a lot of time. Here's the fifth stage in the culture transformation process, and that's where we measure progress. And this is where we need to know exactly how far we've gone and what we've been able to accomplish along the way. Here is where you take a look at the metrics that we identified earlier and see if you're getting the kind of results that you desire. Now, what this does is it allows you to be able to go back and if you're not getting what you want, iterate as you go along the way. I encourage organizations to measure at least quarterly, keeping in mind that the culture or culture is a predictive indices of what your performance might look like in the future. In other words, our culture today was shaped by yesterday's, or our performance today was shaped by yesterday's culture. And yesterday could be as far back as 6 to 12 months ago. And we will only see the true impact of the culture today and the investments that we're making in culture transformation today. We'll see that impact tomorrow, which again could be several months into the future. When we're all said and done, the journey begins again. We update the senior leaders and gain their renewed commitment for the journey ahead. However, we also have to assess to see how we've changed and make amends and tweaks to our plans as we go along. Or we bring in new things, implementing them, and again measuring. You can run these in annual circles or even every 18 months. Sometimes organizations will go as far as 24 months before they start that cycle to remeasure where they are. The point is, you need to understand how far you've gone and iterate along the way as you need to. You need to be able to act, check the performance, and then change things as might be required. So there you have it, your culture transformation journey captured in 5 steps: alignment, assessment, planning the journey, implementing the journey, and measuring success. I look forward to seeing you on our next video where we begin to break each of these steps down.